Still got me, Doug?
Yeah.
Alright, hello and welcome to Gavra Racing's GT3 series here at Imola. You catch us just at the end of the final practice here, so you'll be heading straight into qualifying for this race here. Of course, this is round 6 of the GT3 Championship, and once again, these guys will be doing everything in their power to get a win on the trot here at this circuit in Italy. We got a few newer faces today, but we'll wait till the race to confirm those starting entries. As for now, in terms of the point standings, Dalavan currently leads the points on 105 points after Kaz's not-so-good run last week, and Mike has also shot himself up into second in the championship standings, about 8 points back from him. Although Kaz is still very much in the running for the championship, although he has fallen down to third in the last week at Watkins Glen. Well,
that also just sort of shows to prove the competitiveness of this grid, that one bad performance can really set you back, so...
Yeah. You might know more about this track than I do, actually.
This is actually... I do very much like this circuit. It's obviously quite infamous for Ayrton Senna's untimely death in the 90s, but let's hope that no big crashes happen today.
I think I'll let you handle the onboard scenario. You probably know the turns better than I do, but as you can clearly see, a new name at the top. It is Vectro, back in GT3 competition, with Dalavan and Kaz rounding out second and third, followed by K-Morse in fourth and Kev in fifth. So those are your top 5 in early practice standings, and the first time the Porsche has got a substantial time in the top 3. So could we see another surprise manufacturer win today?
I mean, I think Porsche is one team that really needs some good points, so let's see if they can do anything.
Indeed, Porsche, one of the struggling teams in the championship, so maybe this mid-season offering from Vectro could help them in overall competition. But Vectro, like I said, isn't the only one who will likely be joining us in the category. We'll have to wait and see. We're also expecting a few late arrivals to the race as well, but we are now in qualifying, and let's see who's exactly the first on out. Looks like it is the Janetta of Rees, I think the sole Janetta here today.
Yeah, Flip couldn't seem to connect.
Of course, Rees is still pretty infamous for up and down qualifying runs this season. Just to really get in a sort of substantial race where there hasn't been too many issues with the Janetta team. We've seen a few other manufacturers have issues piling up one after another, but it is kind of the chase. It's kind of the place to change all that if they can get a substantial qualifying run as well.
I mean, isn't this sort of the halfway point? No, this is just over the halfway point, isn't it? Or is it the halfway point of the calendar?
I believe it's the halfway point.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to start getting in your good performances, this is surely where you've got to start.
Let's put the HUD and map up as well.
Ah, yes.
I think it's actually one of the Mercedes cars who move around. I believe it might be Hondax, actually. Hondax was looking really good in the running last weekend, just had some late race issues of his own. He's still actually looking for, I believe, his first podium of the season, which is really surprising for him.
As we see Hondax coming around the last corner now.
So, like I said, I'll let you handle this. I don't know better than I do.
This long straight here, quite important that you keep behind someone here in the slipstream if you're in a race. But coming up to the first chicane now is the Tamburello. Quite quick, As you see they're going in third, you can toss it in here. Just hold that out. Coming out of turn 4 there, you want to make sure that you don't lose the back end. Coming into now Villeneuve. This is actually one of the more new variants to the track. Also quite quick coming into Tossa Hairpin. Just want to make sure that you don't get the throttle down too early. That will send you round. It's relatively fast bit here up the hill. Peratella. This here it seems a lot fast, or well, it seems a lot faster than it is, but you've actually got to slow down quite a bit there. Down the hill now into Quetta Minerale. I think that's what it is. Now into what is essentially the back straight. This is the Variante Alta. Very slow little chicane there. You want to make sure not to jump the second path there, because that will ruin your lap. Alex took it very nicely. Now into the last 2 corners. Again, very slow. You want to make sure not to go too wide there, because that will invalidate this lap and the next lap. And Alex takes it very nicely. And, that was the lap of Imola. Very quick lap. Or relatively quick.
I never would have been able to say all those Italian names, but Honda X does set early pole with the 145.6, but then Johnny actually goes faster in the McLaren 144.4. So Johnny picking up the pieces from where he left off at Watkins Glen, showing really good pace. Of course, he is the current winner as well. Or most recent winner, excuse me. Kingworth's teammate in the second McLaren across the line. Joe also across the line, set at 159. Kingworth's an invalidated time as well. Toby also deciding to cut it quits. Was able to set in a good time as well in the 145.4, and then Vectro falling closely behind with the 145.44. So very close all around down the field actually. This is Galvan's teammate Yuvi across the line. He set in a good performance. He was pretty decent at Watkins Glen. He sets himself 6, 148.4. And I think Mike behind him going quite slower, only a 152. So already pretty staggered times actually from the top 5 through the top 10 actually, so that might show just the kind of confidence that these guys are bringing into this race. It's quite the confidence-heavy track, actually.
I mean, with a track like this, if you don't feel confident on, that you can get the throttle down early, that you can brake late, then, it's sort of, if you look at the first 2 chicanes, if you mess up the first one, it sort of sets you up pretty slow for the second one. It's sort of things like that that just ruin your lap, or that specific lap, and then that just gets in your mind even more, and then so you have to just keep your head up, that sort of stuff on a track like this.
Right. Mike went across the line as well, although only 11th fast. Only 11th right now. He's actually Dalavan, excuse me. Dalavan only setting in 9th for 149.1, although he's coming across on the back straight now. Currently 3 seconds up on his time, so could slot himself into the top 5. Just 3 minutes left in qualifying. K. Morse and Toby set in times really far off the rest of the pack, actually. Or excuse me, Toby and excuse me. Yuvi's actually shot himself up a little bit. He's up in the 5th now. Dalavan improves to 3rd. left sort of in the dangerous spot, sitting all the way down in 11th place. And Mike is currently second in the championship, so he needs to find a way to compete where Dalavan is right now. Of course, one person we can't count out either is Kev. He's currently sitting 4th in qualifying, as well as in the top 5 in points, so he still has quite a lot to offer this month, even after his early season win. He just hasn't been able to sort of keep the consistent pace as of late. Actually, now that I think about it, which manufacturer do you think has been the most consistent so far this season?
The most consistent? Probably actually the Mercs, because Mike, he's not second in the championship for nothing, and whilst he hasn't really gotten any wins, he has certainly been at the top 5, I think, almost every race. And Hondax has actually been up there quite a lot as well. So, and obviously we've seen a couple disastrous races for the Audis and the Ginettas. So I would say that it's probably the Mercs that are the most consistent.
Of course, not out putting out a qualifying time yet. The time is pretty much up, so Razy, Joe, and Daz have decided to call it quits. Kev across the line. This is going to be a faster lap. It is slower by about 5/10. Porsche across the line. I think no improvement from Vectro either. Dalavan also no improvement. So this will most likely be the last attempt for a lot of these guys to set in qualifying times. Mike in a very precarious danger zone, actually. Johnny has decided to call it quits on his time, so second and third of Vectro and Dalavan only separated by 2 1,000s actually.
I mean, we've pretty much got them in pairs. Vectro and Dalavan split by a very small amount, Kev Hondak split by a very small amount, and Cass K-Mor split by a very small amount.
Mike might be a little bit up on his time actually, coming out of the third sector. Vectro has decided to call it quits, so it'll be the end of the run from him, so Dalavan is the likely candidate to try to snatch pole away from Johnny. If Johnny can hold on to this, it'll be his second consecutive pole in a row. Mike is across the line now. How much of an improvement will it be? And it's only up to 8th, actually. Kev across the line. Is he going to improve any bit? Not quite. UV and Dalavan taking across the line. Dalavan moves up to second, only 1/10 behind Johnny. And that displaces Vectro. Really pretty far down the field, just in the top 10 by a bit. But everyone else finished up on their laps. So like Razy also got bumped all the way down to 9th. That across the line, UV will only slot 10th, I believe.
Yeah, he didn't improve.
So there you have it. Johnny, Dalavan, and Vectro, your top 3, and first time a Porsche has qualified in the top 3 this season. Followed by Kev, Hondax, Kaz, K-Morse, Mike, Razy, UV, your top 10. And then outside the top 10, you have Toby, Joe, and Daza. And I believe quite a few. Joanna, Rubert, and Flip, I believe, are all unable to start this race. Bowie is also not here as well for supporting Nissan. So it'll be interesting to see who the favorites are for this race, actually.
I mean, Johnny's, he's got the momentum from last race, so, and he got pole last time, so let's see if he can do something with it this time as well.
Right. Well, while all the drivers are setting their fuel loads and stuff, we'll we'll go down the grid and sort of just see. I'll make sure to have the fuel HUD and stuff up so that we can check and all that. So Johnny is the winner last week at Watkins Glen. Can he make it a repeat 2 in a row? Dalavan is your new points leader. Can he hold that points lead? Vectro, the surprise upset in the Porsche today. Can he pull it off? Kev also looking to put in another consistent performance. Can he get into the podium spots today? Hondak still looking for his first podium. He starts 5th on the grid. Kaz, a disastrous race at Watkins Glen. How well can he perform today? K Morse looking to do more good work today in that McLaren. He qualifies 7th. Mike also to put in other good performances. He scored a podium last week. Can he do it again? Crazy starting pretty far deep in the field, but that hasn't stopped him before. UV also really far from his teammate, but he can also put in a consistent performance once again. Toby also looking to put in some more good work after a decent finish at Watkins Glen. Joe pretty far back, but that Bentley still has the power to take it to the front runners, and Daza in the second Porsche starts at the back of the grid. So with that, of course, mandatory fuel indicates that all drivers must start around the 70-liter mark. I believe there is maybe 1 or 2 leeways that can be undertaken, but other than that, you have to pick your favorites. Thank you to everyone who is joining us here from whatever part of the world you are. We hope that you are staying safe, and we hope that you enjoyed this broadcast as we go to 4 red lights here at the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo Dino Ferrari, and we are green. They were delayed green, but Dalavan is currently away. He got a good run on Johnny. It's going to be able to get him down into turn 1. They are side by side into turn 1. And it's actually Vector who gets all the way up into third once again after he challenged Kev in the second turn. And everyone gets through the first chicane really well. It's actually Johnny defending from Dalavan into the second complex. And Kev falling behind Vector. Ooh, there's a spin. I believe that is K-Morse who spun behind in the background. I don't think he got into any contact with anyone. He's in the dirt, but managed to collect it back once again. Ooh, a small contact between Mike and Joe. Managed to keep it together as well. Further up the field, it is single file in the top 3. Johnny still leads from Dalavan, who now finds himself on the defensive from Vectro. To try to catch up to Dalavan. He's gonna make the move. He's got that speed in the Porsche. Looks down to the inside. Dalavan pushes him on the curb, very close from there. And actually, behind him, Kev has to take evasive actions. Almost getting pushed off wide, and actually allows Hondax to get a good run on Kev as they all go side by side. It's actually Hondax and Kev going side by side now. Getting pushed out a little bit. Falls down to 5th while Hondax moves his way up into 4th. Actually behind them you can kind of see he's separated as Toby, who gets a good start. He's all the way up into 8th, sort of separates this first and second group. Behind them Daza, who also got a pretty okay start, finds himself battling Joe for 9th. Have actually been the cleanest overall start so far. As Daza is in the dirt a little bit, manages to keep it together. Oh, just behind there in the background, I think that's K-Morse again. Spun around. I don't know if he has any sort of mechanical damage, but doesn't hit anything. Although Mike and Daza cutting it really close. Nonetheless, a really good start from everyone else. She's still... Toby has a early time penalty, most likely for track limits. Yes, indeed, it is 1 second for track limits. Up front, everyone is still really close together for the first through seventh, I'd say. So Watkins Glen, they kind of had this same sort of spread out effect, but they were still relatively close enough to battle one another. See right there, Hondax and Kev battling. Kev looks to have the faster car in some of the later corners, but not really sure which manufacturer has the better top speed just yet.
I mean, that does seem to be a little bit more on the track, but also on the setup still. So we've seen Kev be able to blaze past Hondax, but we've also seen Hondax blaze past Kev.
Yeah, Kev kind of just missed the corner, had to cut it there actually. While that was happening, Dalavan also now has a time penalty. 1 second and 1 second for K-Morse as well, so now Yuvi also has a time penalty. So all these guys just acquiring early race time penalties. Still, it is quite just going really wide, I was about to say. But just still putting in a really good performance, but of course, they haven't seen this kind of performance all season, so it'll be quite uplifting for that team.
Victor seems to be really quick out of there, really catch up to Dalavan in that corner there.
We saw at Watkins Glen that Johnny was sort of just able to control the front of the pack pretty good in the McLaren car. He never really got too far out of reach for Dalavan, and that might be looking to be the same case today, actually.
I think that the McLaren might actually be quite a nice all-round car, so as long as you can keep it fast in the straights and on the corners, then you're pretty much good everywhere. So it's all that a racetrack.
Hondax has had some sort of issue because he's fallen down to 7th. It's actually both of the Audi drivers, Kaz and Kev, find themselves in 4th and 5th now. Meanwhile, while this is happening, Vecchio trying to make the move on the Cadillac, and he does make the move up into 2nd, so Vecchio looking really fast in terms of straight line speed. Vector actually has also 1 second, and now Yuvi's actually acquired 2 seconds with penalties, so a lot of penalties being given out early on. It hasn't even been 10 minutes yet. Is that an omen for the rest of the race? Oh no! Speaking of omens, Johnny has just spun it there in the double right, just in front of the field actually. A rather small incident there, I believe, just kind of too much overspeed heading in there, but manages to keep it together and hold stationary in 3rd, but now finds himself under pressure by the Audis.
Now it's pretty much down to Vector to start pushing that forward, start getting the gap.
Ooh, Joe is having incident 2, I believe, just up further from where Johnny has had his incident. I think he might have hit the curb in the wrong way, because he's fallen all the way back to last, even behind K-Morse. But yeah, as you were saying, this puts Vector and Dalavan in pretty good spots now, because Vector seems to be really putting on the pace now, setting in really good times. So now we have sort of a split group, separating all the way down to Kaz in 5th place and see Ray's in 6th place just ahead of Hondax, who's still trying to make his way back up the grid. And Toby is sort of leading the second group with Mike and Gaza. Mike's still trying to make his way back up the grid in his qualifying position. Acceleration that McLaren gets on corner exit. It's probably what's allowing Johnny to stay ahead of the Audis.
I'll be right back 5 minutes.
Johnny under heavy pressure. Kev, he does have the slipstream down the punch straight. With the overspeed, looks to the inside, although Johnny not giving him too much space. Decides to back off just a little bit. Not really challenging too much, although Johnny not getting that good of a run. And we'll see how long his teammate Kaz also decides to wait for him. Because Kaz is also very much in this fight for championship points as well. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, Razy has decided to make an early pit stop, so a bit of a different strategy from the G-United driver. We'll see how it pays off for him. And also, while this is happening, Kev now has received some sort of time penalty for track limits, so FIA not doing any favors for any of the drivers here today at all. Still trying to keep on the back of Johnny. It's really fast in the straights, but Kev really sliding that alley out. See if the stewards allow him to take that time without any sort of penalty.
Back.
While you were gone, Rosie made a pit stop, so he was off strategy.
Okay, that's quite interesting.
Yeah, also Kev has a penalty now too.
George Swan off K-Moss.
Yeah, I think he's had another incident with the curb. I don't think the Bentley cars like the curbs around this track. It's sort of been a problem all practice for these guys, I believe. But I don't think it's anything damage related, actually.
As the Merc boys have found themselves each other.
Yeah, now that Razy relinquished 7th to 6th and 7th to Hondax and Mike, this small group has actually started to form. Ooh, as I say that, Hondax goes really far wide, cuts the whole corner actually, and still keeps ahead of his teammate. Quite a lot of interesting battles going on around track, actually. And actually, Mike, using a little bit of team orders to his advantage, gets up into 6th place. Hondax deciding to relinquish that position, so I was thinking Mike will do a lot better ahead of him. Still have to be very careful because Toby is bringing Yubi and Daz along with him. Good on all 3 of these guys to actually keep pace with the midfield. UV looking around the outside of Toby for 8th place. Meanwhile, while all this is happening, Johnny has started to make some gains on Kev. It's actually Kev and Kaz are starting to just see just how much he gains in the slipstream that Audi. just can't quite make the move stick. And now Hondax is in the pits for a bit of a split strategy, so maybe he's counteracting Racing's strategy. Vector has pulled out 2 seconds on Dalavan. You can see him just up the hill, and Dalavan's sort of in an area of his own, just a couple of seconds up on Johnny, so Johnny's still been able to keep pace with the leaders even after his incident, but I think both of the Audis are going to present quite a problem for him later of this race. I think when tire wear sort of starts to become an issue. Johnny is definitely pushing that McLaren to keep ahead of both of the Audis. I think that's not a question right now. And the question is, can he even keep ahead of them with just how much straight line speed they have? Finds his little defensive line. And Kev, let's help him out down the front straight. Starts the game, just in that 6th gear. He leaves the inside open for Kev. Is he going to try to make the move stick? Kev goes in pretty deep. Johnny tries to cut him back around the outside, although I don't think Kev is going to allow him back through. Indeed, it is Kev into the podium spot, which holds on from Johnny, who's now been relegated to 4th. For how long, though? Johnny's still very much on the offensive, and Kaz still behind this battle as well. Meanwhile, while this is happening, I believe Toby and K-Morse have sort of dropped off a little bit. So now Daza is up into 8th, followed by Yubi as well. So, pretty good on those two. Hondax has come out behind Razy, so they'll be fighting for the gains in time that they are looking for. And while this is happening, Johnny's still looking to get back on Kev. Kev got a really bad run. Actually, this allows Kaz to come through on the outside. Actually does manage to complete the move after Johnny had to sort of step on the brakes a little bit to not run into the back of Kev, but actually still in the end, I think Kaz had to give the spot back because it would have been counted as overtaking the yellow line. So, did you want to chime in, Dutch? You haven't said anything.
No, I don't know what to say. I mean, the Audi seems to definitely have the edge on the straights, but Johnny seems to just be a little bit better around the corners, where as you see there, you can just get up so close, and then on the acceleration as well, but as you said, once they get to that 6th gear, that's just where Johnny just can't keep up. So on the board here, you can see actually side by side, but on the outside, the inside that's always going to win. But we see that Johnny can actually keep up in the acceleration, but then as it gets to more top speed and more power, that's when the Audi just rules.
While this is happening, Daza was able to pass K-Morse in the other McLaren, so good on him. The Porsche drivers are really showing up this race. He's actually falling down into the clutches of Joe while that's happening for 10th place. I suspect Razy and Hondax will be waiting for all these guys to make pit stops, as now Johnny has a time. Or is it? Either way, they have a 1 second penalty. Vector actually now has 2 seconds worth of penalties. So it's very interesting. Actually, speaking of interesting, Johnny did get back ahead of Kev. So, this battle's still going on, although Kev now fighting side by side on the inside. And will Kaz also decide to make the move? He's got his teammate down the inside. Kaz does decide to follow Kev through. Decide to kind of block Johnny in. Johnny able to still keep it together in 4th place. Still sandwiched between both Audis. He is really able to take the fight to Kev, actually, in some of these areas.
Yes, I'm actually quite impressed. It's also, I would have expected him to try, but it's actually keeping the seat quite well with the Audis.
This is happening, though. Dalavan started to pick up the pace. He was 3 seconds back, now he's 2.8, so he realizes that Vectro has a 2-second penalty, so he's within 1 second gap, essentially. Mike has sort of gotten into a world of his own as well, and Daza still trying to make his way away from K-Morse. K-Morse might be challenging him for 7th. Keep you updated on that. It's still a decent improvement from both K-Morse and Daza, so good on them. That's all I can say.
I mean, you know, any racing's better than none, so.
20 minutes have passed here at Imola, so now it'll be their turn never to kind of check the fuel situations of these guys.
Let's go down the field then.
So Vectro currently has 40 liters of fuel. Dalavan also 40. Both the Audis actually have 41, so McLaren has 39, so I think that kind of just shows how much Johnny was pushing earlier. Daza also has a roughly 42, and Mike 39 as well. The other McLaren of K-Morse, who actually just got past Daza on the straight, 7th, sitting on 40 liters. Toby on 35, so much less fuel than the others. Yubi sitting on 40. Joe on 36. And we know Razy and Hondax both pitted, so they are very much good to go. Hondax taking substantially more fuel than Razy. Might be the difference maker when it comes down to it.
I mean, you know, that is extra weight, and now you can't, you know, that is 18 liters worth of fuel that is just sort of sitting there, and if at the end he's got 18 liters plus, then it's not really what you want.
Daz has had some sort of incident, because now Toby has passed him for 8th. Actually falling close to Yuvi as well. While this is happening, Dalavan is still bringing down the gap towards Vectro. It is now in 2 seconds, which means Dalavan is essentially just about your race leader with Vectro's 2-second time penalty.
Dalavan has a penalty of his own, so.
Right. And Kaz is falling off the back of Johnny and Kev, so he's had a sort of incident of his own. It's actually Johnny and Kev still going at it. 3rd place. Kev once again holding it down the inside of Johnny. A little far on the curb, although holds a more defensive line. Really far and deep to protect that line. Johnny not able to get the run. Still, where do you think Johnny can make the move, considering the speed difference?
I mean, you'd have to get up real close here and actually pretty much be next to him going in here. If he can at least be side by side coming into the chicane here. Which I think he's actually going to try to do, but just can't get the power down. if he can be side by side here, you'll actually have a good chance of getting it on the exit. But he's not going to get out of last corner on the straight. He might get it if he gets a really good run. He might get out of one of the 2 chicanes into the last lap and then hit it on the second one.
While this is going on, roughly half the grid have inquired some sort of time penalty, so we'll update you on that. Currently 2 from Vetro, 1 from Dalavan, 2 from Kev actually, and 1 from Johnny. This Johnny is actually de facto third. So this is actually a really important fight, considering Kev has 1 more second time penalty on him. Meanwhile, Kaz is actually, yeah, you're about to say is the fastest on track.
Yeah, I was gonna say exactly that. Yes.
Yeah, he's trying his best to catch back up after his mistake, so he's starting to push that Audi. Dazzo, again, still falling down the grid because Joe passed him for 10th, so I guess I spoke a little too soon there.
Should I count that?
Why not? Well, K-Morse is still up there, so half, I guess.
Yeah.
Ooh. Kevin, small slide there.
That could be exactly what he needed.
Well, Johnny was a little bit on the brakes there, so definitely didn't anticipate it. But still side by side, Johnny pushes Kev out to take third, although Kev's still not going to back down. He's going to keep his wits about him. Side by side as they head into the final 2 turns. Kev taking a defensive line. He does hold on to third.
And that's Cat's right there, only 1.5 seconds off.
Confident under braking, actually going to try to make a move for this complex. Let's see just how defensive or how wide Kev decides to make that Audi. Be very careful, they are still very much under watch for any sort of track limits. So you can't take too many liberties with the track. But it's been going on. Kaz is still slowly reeling both of them back in. So with that incident, Kaz was able to bring back down that 6-second gap. And K-Morse is actually starting to make grounds on Mike himself for 6th place.
This could be quite a good race for the McLaren team then.
Pretty sure it will be their best race if they can keep up this performance. I mean, even still, if Johnny doesn't win the race, just overall,
yeah,
it is still a very good step in the right direction.
Started to split up a little more.
And so we're reaching the halfway point of the race, so it'll be time to reveal what these guys' fuel strategies will look like if they decide to pit now or later in the race. Of course, Crazy and Hondax have both pitted, so they're going to the end and they have been trying to set in good laps. They've both been setting in times in the 148 region, but I just don't think that is enough to get closer to the front.
That is sort of the problem though with pitting early. You have that longer time when you're at relatively higher fuel. Because if we check what Johnny's got and then see what Hondax has got. Joe's actually in the pits now as well. Hondax has got just about double the amount of fuel as Johnny. So yes, in terms of lap times, Hondax will be a fair bit slower if Johnny wasn't battling.
Right. But I mean, Johnny and Kev are both fighting, so true, their times have been slower, but they've still been keeping decent pace with the leader. Even though Dalavan has sort of sprinted away from these guys, and Kaz now has a penalty to add to his name, likely for track limits as well, 1 second. And now Johnny has added another second, and Vectro has added another second. Toby another second, and Yuvi another second as well, so this Dalavan is now the de facto race leader as Kaz decides to enter the pits. So now this puts Kev and Johnny on equal footing in terms of time penalties.
Yeah, I mean, but it's also a little bit nicer for Johnny now because he doesn't have to worry about being attacked from behind, so he can purely focus now on getting Kev.
See, pit strategy always plays an important role. Kev most likely taking fuel only, I would suspect. Toby also in for his scheduled stop as well. Of course, these races have been decided on pit strategy in the past, so still a very long way to decide things. Although importantly, for Razy, it would be very important to see where he comes out relative to Kaz. Kaz coming out now. Razy does pass Kaz. Hondax doesn't, actually. Well, he's coming across the start-finish straight now. It's actually only right there, so this is very important to relative where everyone comes out.
I mean, that pit entrance isn't a bit of an irritating spot there because, everyone who's coming from behind you is already almost at top speed, and you are coming out of that pit lane coming 60 kilometers an hour, so it's really full throttle to the first corner because everyone behind you is already at 200-250 kilometers an hour.
The race leader is now into the pits, or supposed race leader. Let's see how time penalties play out. He's already in and out, so that was a very quick pit stop from him. He'll come out behind Mike, though, who is also behind the lapped car of Joe Black, I believe, as now Keymorse decides to pit.
And UV.
While this is all happening, Kev and Johnny still fighting before they go into the pits, so they will be still very much close to each other even when they come out. Still quite a lot to consider beforehand.
I mean, it is a bit of a game of chicken now, whoever goes in first.
Keymorse and Yuvi still into the pits, actually, so Razy passes both of them, along with Kaz.
And Hondax.
Keymorse out ahead of Yuvi, that's him there in the background. So both Hondax and Razy able to jump them.
Mike penalty as well now. 1 second. Vector's up to 5 now.
Kaz now up to 11.
Got probably too fast.
Well, we'll see how this plays out once everyone finishes their stops, because it's still a little early to tell, actually. Kaz going very slow. I believe he was trying to settle another time penalty. So now Dalavan is the leader as it stands, but all three of them him, Kev and Johnny have to pit. Mike has to pit as well. Kaz now has to try to do his best to keep pace with Razy. Hondax and K-More still going at it. Actually, oh, there he is. We're going at it, actually. Just 25 minutes. Very interesting to see who's going to decide to pit next. Of course, they could very well go to just about the end before pitting. Which I believe that's very likely what Johnny and or Kev decide to do. Galvin wants to make up as much time as possible. All starting setting times in the 146 as Kev decides to pit now in the Audi.
This has released Johnny into free air now, so now it's really the time for him to start pumping out lap time, see if he can overcut him.
It'll also be very interesting to see where Kev comes out relative to Razy, because I believe he's in the 3rd sector now. Oh, he's actually a little bit farther back. Daz is actually the one up ahead. Dazi, actually he has pitted.
Yeah. Wait, what? No, there we go. Fuel's reset. Yeah.
Oh, that was weird.
That was just a little bit of a glitch, I think.
But Kev is already out and away, nonetheless. Taking around 50 liters. That might be a little bit overkill, I'm not gonna lie. I'll have to wait and see what Johnny decides to take relatively. But now this has sort of spun many things on their head, because Kaz was very much near Kev, but now he's got both Daza and Razy in between him, so that gap is roughly increased by more than 10 seconds. As well as the 10-second penalty that Kaz has. Johnny's still deciding to go a little bit further on. Dalavan also deciding to go further on. Vectro is de facto 3rd as it stands, but he's 30 seconds back. He's actually trying to get away from Mike. Vectro and Mike are really close together. Has Mike pitted yet?
Wrong person. Thought Vector was behind that. Vector's on quite low fuel.
Yeah, that's very strange. I wonder if he even pitted at all, because his pit stop did look a little bit quick to me. Ooh, that's Mike behind him. Just barely avoids hitting that wall. Mike also gets to pit. You mean Joe?
Maybe a bit. Oh, yeah, sorry. Did Vector maybe have a drive-through?
Maybe, because his pit stop definitely looked fast to me.
Yeah, I mean he was in and out. So.
Seems to be a very interesting late development. Vectro will likely have to pit again. Mike will have to pit at some point as well, but they still have a very big gap over Kev. Kev and, actually just Kev, not really been able to put in the pace after his pit stop.
But here's where you see what I was talking about. You know, if Johnny can keep high pace and Kev just can't keep that now because of the extra weight, it doesn't seem like much. And he did have 53 liters earlier, but you know, if you're at 20 liters for a while, then 53 liters will seem like a bit of a burden until you get used to it at least.
Crazy's now battling Kaz, so this is actually for de facto 7th, but with Kaz's penalty, this might make things a little bit more tricky. He will have to pass Crazy and gain a substantial amount of time. Ooh, Mike's got a lot of damage. Alright, look at it.
I think he might have actually scraped the wall there just a little bit.
It's gonna come out behind Daza and behind Crazy and Kaz. Actually, side by side on the front straight. He's taking a defensive line. It's gonna be the first time that Crazy and Audi have found themselves in complication, but Crazy deciding to let him go.
I think he didn't really have much of a choice in the matter.
Yeah, with the Audi's top speed, but Mike falling all the way down to 10th now. So he definitely had some sort of issue, either just with pace or with having some sort of damage. He comes out just ahead of UV. They'll be battling on exit as the de facto leader comes into pit now. Taliban. And Johnny decides to pit with him as well.
Johnny might actually get out ahead of Kev.
Ooh,
Oh, especially with that.
Ooh, and actually taps the back with the rear left.
Should I count that? Because
Well, you didn't really say anything.
Well, no, I said he will more than likely get ahead of Kev, and then that happened.
Vectro in as well. So all 3 of the leaders now in, and I don't think with that Kev is going to be able to pass any of them. Because Delavan is already out and away. Vectro is out and away. No, he's coming in the pit now. That's Johnny who goes out and away. Ondex is coming across the last corner now. Daza following him. So Dalavan will take over the de facto race lead. Johnny will take over de facto second. Possibly. Here comes Kev. Kev will see him on corner exit. Not corner exit, pit exit.
It's gonna be close.
Kev does pass him before the first turn. Although, does he overshoot turn 1? Yeah, he definitely overshot it. That wasn't gonna work. And here comes Johnny right back. And Daza putting in a stellar performance. Oh, I should probably shut up. Here comes Johnny back to retake second. And Kev. And Vectro, actually, despite his incident, comes out 5th, although I really don't think that's where he would have liked to come out. Crazy with his strategies, fighting Kaz, although that has more or less been decided in Crazy's hand because of Kaz's penalty. And just 20 minutes to go now. Now would probably be a good time to check the penalties.
Let's wait for them to get the straight here. Kev's not really getting a good launch, but let's see, real quick. How much has changed?
So I think Kaz the only one to inquire a pit lane penalty during that whole ordeal. Kev, I think, ooh, Kev, really far deep. This actually could allow Daza the chance to capitalize. Which Daza starts to pay and decides to come in now. Oh, and yep, there's Daza's penalty. Yep. It was too good to be true.
I'm catching that one.
It was going too well. Well, that's happening now. Vectro up into 4th place, Kaz up to 5th, Razy into 6th, so all this, Razy will actually kind of being the de facto top 5 if this continues, because Vectro has a 5-second time penalty, so Racy could get into 4th. And Hondax, who's just there in the distance, can still maybe get 7th. Mike and Yubi fighting for 9th.
Close the Hondax, so I have to close it to K-Moss. We're sort of seeing a bit of a reverse of what was happening earlier with Johnny not really being able to do anything to Kev, and now Kev isn't really being able to do anything to Johnny.
Well, Johnny has been pretty defensive the whole race, really, except when he's been fighting Kev.
Oh.
On the back of the McLaren. We have just under 16 minutes to go. Pretty much, there isn't anyone on the grid who doesn't have a penalty except Crazy, Hondax, and Joe, so that can be considered an accomplishment at this point.
You can really see how much just raw power this Audi has over the top end.
Yes, moving McLaren can take the curves compared to the Audi.
And here you pretty much have two of those opposing cars. The Audi of Kev with high speed and or high top end, and you really see some high curves and that sort of stuff. And then you have the McLaren of Johnny, who seems to love the corners, but can't really get the power down in the straight.
Ooh, it was really close. That might have tripped up Kev just enough. Yeah, Kev definitely had to take a little bit of evasive maneuvers there, kind of trumped him a little bit. Didn't hit anything, so he's still there.
I'm just really checking their penalties, because Johnny has got a 3-second penalty, so 1 second over Kev, which means Kev is within 1 second of Johnny. We will have that P2 on lockdown.
Right. Vectro's still trying to. He is pretty much the fastest man on track right now. He's still trying to get away from Razy, who will more or less pass Kaz for 5th. But Razy did pit the earliest out of anyone, so it's likely that his tires are starting to suffer a little bit now in the later parts. The Hondax is still very much in the question, just a little bit farther back.
Here you can really see his fuel. He's still got 40 liters while take Razy to 28 liters.
Definitely a fuel miscalculation on Hondax's part.
Johnny's got 54 though. And then Dalavan's got 29, so it's very mixed numbers that we have here.
Well, for Johnny, he wasn't really considering to fight anyone, but Kev's pace was just that good that he was able to make up that time. So, even still though, it still worked out in Johnny's favor, more or less. But still, Dalavan has more or less been untouchable ever since Vectro's mistake.
I don't actually know what happened because Vectro pitted, or had a drive-through, whatever it was. Right. But I actually don't know why he got that. Let's look back in the stream.
Either that or his pit settings weren't finalized, so he came to pit, but nothing happened. It's a multitude of issues that could have potentially happened. I don't really know unless they specifically tell us. But just about 12 minutes left, and well, there's still quite close, still quite some close cars around one another. Close cars, Amor's and Razy. Was actually trying to put up a little bit of a fight against Razy, who's been falling back quite a bit after the pit stop sequence. Morris, I believe, has 1 second penalty himself. 3 seconds. But Razy's pace just has not been where he needs to be in order to challenge Vectro. And he's even losing a lot of pace to Kaz as well, so it's going to be very detrimental for the Ginetta and actually very beneficial for the McLaren. Ray's going to take a bit of more defensive lines, actually on the curb quite a bit. See if the stewards allow that. Check the curb on exit too. Doesn't get a penalty for that, I don't know what he will get. Marshall will have the top end speed in 5th. Now changes to 6th, so very drastic gear changes for him. He's very confident on the brakes, although he's not able to get the run he's get on Razy. Yeah, the Ginetta actually showing pretty pace straight line speed here too.
I mean, if this was one of the Audis, you know, the Audi would have already passed him before they start the race. I do think it is sort of just a bit of bad luck, but not great for K-Morse and McLaren, but yeah, top speed. So you can see it makes it difficult fighting the Ginettas around the corners. So the Ginettas are actually pretty good around the corners as well. But because their top ends are so similar, it makes it difficult to actually do move.
Well, there have it. Whoa! John K-Morse actually going really far and deep, actually pushes Razy out wide.
Yeah, he's gonna let him in front again. Yeah.
That was a bit of a moment there from each of them, and I think that has definitely hurt Razy's attempts to pass Kaz in all this, because you see Kev is falling down the field actually. Vectro now sits in 3rd, and Kaz now falling behind in 4th, but Vectro still has 5 seconds worth of penalties, but these guys' penalties are gonna simmer down into one another. I'm not really sure how each of them are gonna finish. Actually, Vectro now has 6 seconds worth of penalties. Really,
so as long as Kev is 4 seconds of Vectro, which he is now, then Kev might still get the podium position, but Cass is pretty much 5th, as long as Razy doesn't catch up.
Hondax is also now still in the hunt too, because with K-Morse slowing down, Hondax would be in 7th. I don't know, there's just too many numbers to keep track of. Speaking of numbers, just less than 8 minutes. It really feels like this race has flown by. Hard to think that a lot of these guys have been fighting for a whole hour straight.
I mean, Johnny and Kev are probably going to be absolutely exhausted after this because they've almost been fighting the entire race.
Lizzie and K-Morse are still not too far away from each other, actually, despite what just happened. K-Morse can actually still mount a second attack. But I think 5th place is definitely out of the question for Lazy now. So probably won't be pleased about that. And Kaz is trying to catch up to Vectra now that he has that penalty. Kev, I don't know if he has enough to catch up at this point. Might have exhausted all that Audi has to get for him, and actually that is Kaz battling Vectro just ahead.
This is actually very beneficial for Kev because Kev just has to be within 4 seconds of Vectro, and that will be podium position for the Audis.
With this, Kaz will more or less move into 2nd in the standings because Mike has not had a representative day. Very rare, actually. This is one of the first race in a while that Mike has not been up there in the top 5. So he will likely lose 2nd place. Dalavan will more or less extend his championship gap in the Cadillac.
I think the most disappointed in this will probably be Vectro because this could have been a good podium for him, but just a few mistakes here and there, so they've got penalties, and that has cost him.
Vectro is still not safe, to say the least. He's in 3rd right now, but his penalties would knock him, I'm pretty sure, below Kev as well. We have just under 5 minutes to go. And Vectro is in a fast enough car to compete with the Audis in terms of straight line speed. I don't think there's enough time for him to catch up to Johnny at this point unless there's a mistake. And then Razy actually starting to gain a little bit of distance on K-Morse, and Honda just falling back. He might actually fall into the clutches of his teammate if he's not careful.
Mike's actually the fastest man on the track right now.
While there haven't necessarily been DNFs, there have been DNSs this race, obviously. Fan favorites of Joanna, Flip, and Hubert not being able to start. So also Bowie not here as well in the other Nissan.
And Jukebox as well, I think.
Yeah, Jukebox in other Bentley. But other than that, there haven't been major crashes per se, just separate spins.
I mean, this is probably the cleanest race we've had all season. Big pile up in 3, 2, 1.
Don't jinx it yet. Kaz is still very much fighting Vectro. I think at this point he might be safe, although it's definitely hard to tell. Like I said, the penalties can fluctuate very quickly, and that's Johnny just up there. So they are closing in on him very, very quickly. And Kev is only just out of shot. Kaz going to decide to make a move on Vectro. He goes very wide, actually spins. Very
Just managed to
nice.
keep it nice.
Very nice from him.
Don't think his tires will enjoy it as much as we did, but good job.
He's falling into the clutch of his teammate though, but all that's going on. Morrison Razy still trying everything he's got to push to catch Razy, but I don't know if he'll get there in time. Pretty much have 2 laps to go now. And Johnny is just there in picture frame, so this is gonna be cutting it very close for the McLaren, and even Vector as well. All these guys have penalties that have yet to fluctuate.
I'm just quickly check for the last time now.
Vector now is 7. Johnny up to 3. Kev 3. K-Morse 3. Mike 4. UV 15. So I think Kev is still the major benefactor of this. So I think Kev is your current podium holder right now, I believe. Assuming Vector's cutting it close, location-wise, towards Kev. And Johnny's still not entirely safe as well. K-Morse, I believe, is safe to Hondax. And speaking of that, Mike... What's happened to Mike?
Mercedes boys have found each other yet again.
Yeah. We might see another batch of team orders here, because Mike is technically in the championship hunt, but I don't know, this race has not looked toward Mercedes' favor at all. A very drastic shift from Watkins Glen. But we are now on the final lap as Galavan starts it.
It will be a very close shave.
Right.
Kev's actually fallen back.
He's had a small incident of his own, so now it's gonna be very close. I think he's safe to Kaz, but not safe to Vectro. Johnny's still not too far ahead either, as all these guys actually converge on a little bit of lap traffic as well. Just in front of Johnny. And Kaz is still fighting Vectro, despite this.
I mean, right now he's essentially fighting for Kev.
Joe just ahead of them. Johnny there. Kaz technically doesn't have a reason to fight Vector other than to help his teammate, but very interesting to see. Vector's still giving it everything he's got, although podium it'll be very close to say the least. Kaz could likely hurt Vectro to help get his teammate into the podium. Joe, I think, getting out of the way there, everyone. But all of this happening, the one man who does come away without any suspicion guaranteed toward him is Galavan. He will come across to get his 2nd win of the season, 2nd win for Cadillac, and a very outstanding performance from him today. He wins at Imola.
Absolutely flawless victory.
Johnny looks to come across the line. He will also be cleared to finish 2nd place, so not a win, but I think he'll take the consistency. It's 2nd. Vectro, and hasn't been decided yet. Kaz will likely finish 5th. It all depends on where Kev finishes. Does he beat Vectro in terms of time? He does not. So Vectro is de facto 3rd and 1st podium for Porsche. Breezy will finish 6th as Kaz slots in 5th. Assuming Racy does not beat Kaz's time, he does not. K-Morse in 7th. Mike will not defeat Hondax's time, so he will finish 9th. Hondax will finish 8th. Toby also will likely defeat UV's time penalty. So UV will finish 11th and Toby will finish 10th. And Joe and Daza are a lap down, so they will finish 12th and 13th. And actually right at the end there, Hondax did get a penalty. But it wasn't enough to displace him from Mike. So we have it, Toby last across the line. He will get 10th at the death of it. And there you have it. It is confirmed Dalavan, Johnny, Vectro, then Kev, Kaz, Razy, K-Morse, Hondax, Mike, and Toby, your top 10, followed by UV, Joe, and Daza to round out 1st through 13th. And like I said, your DNSs include a whole heap of drivers, actually.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame though, because I think there were a couple of drivers there who would have definitely been able to challenge at the top.
Fastest lap, I believe, goes to Johnny. Or no, Vectro. Yeah, Vectro with the
Just, yes.
1:45.5. So
Definitely an interesting race though.
yes, you can clearly see a lot of time penalties. So only Razy and Joe not cleared of any suspicion. But despite this, who do you think was the driver of the day?
Yeah, consistency wise, Dalavan. I mean, we didn't see him make a single mistake from start to finish. And, you know, he just pulled the gap and held it, so. In terms of fighting, probably Johnny for being able to actually, you know, keep up with the Audis even on the straights. You know, making sure to get those good launches out of the corners. And, you know, just defending his position and being able to attack, so good on him for that one, but
Yeah, this was definitely a bit more of a redemption race for the Audis. Definitely the Mercedes guys having to look past this race and see what they can accomplish next week. Definitely, I'm sure a happy day for Porsche as they get their first podium of the season in due time, I'm sure. McLaren also still continuing their consistency with Cadillac as well, so lots of different positivity from some guys, I'm sure, but who knows.
I mean, we're only at the halfway point, so the season is not decided yet, but we will still have to see what happens.
Well, it's up to you if you want to conduct driver interviews.
I'll see if I can get anyone. Uh-oh, several people are typing.
Well, stay tuned, we'll see if we can get anyone, although it was quite a difficult race to say the least, I'm sure for a lot of people. Still, there was a lot more fighting than we expected to happen. Definitely, I think, just because of the speed difference.
Yeah, but yeah, for me, I didn't really expect to be so much, you know, position changing on a circuit like this, because most of the corners are medium speed, so you know, it makes it a little bit harder when you actually try to go for braking and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I was quite surprised by this race, and it was a pretty good race.
I'll check to see where we go next week, and then after that I think is the next break week.
But I don't think anyone wants to do a interview. They're all very tired, but
Yeah, next week will be Algarve, and actually it's Austria after that, so 2 more
yeah, so
races.
Portugal, Austria.
Yes. But like I said, it's understandable. Definitely very difficult race for all those involved. Dalavan's point lead will in fact increase after this race. Mike will definitely have his work cut out for him, as Noyens will definitely overtake him after this performance, and well, Kev might even boost himself up into this championship fight as well. So without further ado, thank you everyone for joining us here from whatever part of the world you are. We hope that you stay safe and stay healthy. And once again, we thank you. I have been Cypher Knight 77.
I've been Dutch Muso.
And join us next week where we go to Algarve for more GT3 racing action. As always, we are Gavra Racing, and we hope to see you next time.